Yo, what's going on YouTube, man? It's your boy Lil Ty checking in for another reaction video. And today, as y'all can see on the screen, we are reacting to a phase video. 9 to 5 workers versus Scream debate, which is harder. Now, I saw some clips and things of that nature of the little channel, whatever. And I'm not gonna lie. If you ask me, they do have valid points with their thing as far as streaming go. I'm not gonna lie. Let's be real. A lot of us don't like our 9 to 5 job for real. But I mean, we get to clock out at a certain time. I mean, you kind of sort of get to choose the shift depending on the type of job. Realistically, everybody has options. Just some people options are a little bit more dire than others, if that makes sense. Like a lot of people made wrong decisions growing up that landed them where they are. Some people kind of fail in wherever they were. You know, it's kind of like unfortunate events. So I mean, it's really just to each your own. I just think that when people had this type of conversation like this, is more from a standpoint of you have to be more open-minded. I love the ideal of a good debate. Uh, quite frankly, anybody that know me know I'll debate you all day about almost anything. As long as there's some reason in there. Like, folks be yapping, but they don't want to see they don't want to see your perspective, if that makes sense. And I honestly think that's just the most backward thing possible. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. But I'm not gonna do too much talking. I think I'm starting to come out with a little code or whatever the case may be. But that's beside the point. We're gonna just get started on this video. Before I get started though, like, comment, subscribe, and let me know down below which do y'all think is harder. Do y'all think it's harder to work a 9 to 5, or is it harder to be a streamer? Y'all let me know down below. And we just hit 130 subscribers. I appreciate y'all for that, man. Some of y'all been engaging in the comment section down below. I definitely want to appreciate. I definitely want to say thank y'all for that, man. It really do. It really is motivational for somebody like me when, you know, when y'all go down there and comment, when y'all I'm always looking at it. I'm not gonna necessarily let the numbers dictate how I feel, but it do feel good to know that the hard work that I'm putting in on these videos and at least getting them out, getting them done, is paying off. So, like I say, I ain't gonna speak y'all head out too much. Let's just get started real quick.
How are you gonna disrespect your mom like that,
she
dude?
is right now.
You're gonna disrespect your mom and say that your work is harder? That is so rude.
All right, can I talk? Can I talk?
Hairspray.
Listen, so your whole
So
thing.
it's dangerous.
Listen,
Your job is dangerous.
You would have to actually have to go to work.
Went
to school, and still.
And paid rent?
Yes, I still worked.
That's your choice.
You're high. You're hungover.
You guys are playing video games. I play video games on my spare
I
time.
don't even enjoy streaming.
What's up? How's it going?
So I might walk around like that.
Okay. All right, so my
Might
argument
try to be
here
a YN, ain't it?
is that streaming and social media creation is harder than a 9 to 5.
Nah, it's not facts, bro. 9 to 5 is way harder, homie.
Why do you say that?
Because you gotta get up every motherfucking day, go to the motherfucking bullshit job.
Do you
and
not
slave
have to do
for
the same
pennies.
thing?
See, that's the thing is you're right. You get up every day, you go through the motions. You don't have to get a good night's sleep. You don't have to be focused. You don't have to be locked in. You wake up. You go, you flip some patties,
Nah,
maybe you sign a few envelopes, answer a few phone calls. With streaming and social media creation, you have to be on your game 24/7. It's like a switch that
Facts.
never
When you're a
turns
mail
off.
carrier, I'm a mail carrier, and I'm gonna tell you something, man. I get treated like shit every
Mail
motherfucking
carrier.
day.
We
I'm
have to
still
deal with
slaving
thousands,
every day.
tens of thousands of people
Bullshit.
critiquing every little thing we do, every
Man.
decision we make, every thought we
You guys
have.
got it made, man. I wish I had it made like y'all.
We don't have
I
to go
wish.
sign a few envelopes and put them in a mailbox.
Man,
We
you
have
got
to
it
be,
gravy, bro.
What's the next trend?
Because-
What's the
Oh,
next
like you got
idea?
it gravy.
Oh my God, I have to stream today.
And I got dogs that want to bite my ass
And
every
you have
day.
lunch breaks. You have lunch breaks. We don't have breaks. We're on 24/7.
You got
high energy
I wish I
24/7.
could be at home like you and kick back and get paid
I don't
big
even.
money.
We're not even at home. We're walking around.
Man,
We're walking
I
around
wanna
doing
do
things,
all of
going
that
to
because-
parties,
I
doing all this stuff.
mean-
I got to slave just for not even 100,000 a year. I got to work double overtime.
Okay, but boom. Like I say, I'm not gonna do too many pauses, and we might not even watch this whole thing realistic because it's 45 minutes. But let's talk about this real quick, a little bit, right? So do we not all have the option to choose what we want to do in life? It's kind of like these folks kind of blaming them for the type of career that they chose. Like back then, school was the school was the motion. It was the way to make the most money. And I'm not even gonna say that for real because college doesn't necessarily guarantee you anything for real. If y'all know that, I'm pretty sure y'all know that. Just like I know that college doesn't guarantee you anything, especially nowadays. Nowadays, people get paid. People that get paid the most money typically don't do nothing at work. And you can't necessarily blame some or be mad at somebody else for what they chose to do with their life. Now, I do not agree with this man specifically. I feel like if they're gonna come with something like this, they should come with a better point that make the streamers or the FaZe clan understand where they're coming from. But just saying that your job is shitty and you making pennies on the dollar and you getting chased by dogs and shit like that. I mean, if I'm pretty sure they gonna argue the same point, but being a content creator requires 24/7 thinking. You got to stay on the new trend. If you're not in the loop, you ain't eating like everybody else. And then people that make money from it, they either gotta be they have to be on everything regardless of the fact. So it's like
Bullshit.
it's
Okay, what
kind of
about
crazy.
this? You're guaranteed to get paid. You have
No, I'm
a
not.
steady rate.
If I don't work, I don't get paid.
You
It's
see
simple
what
as
I'm
that.
you
saying
have a
though?
guaranteed
You see how
pay
he's
if
not
you want to
understanding
or
what he's
decision you
saying?
don't
I gotta
work.
work at the
As a
job.
9 to
If I
5
don't go
person,
live, I
if
don't
you
get
go
paid
to
either.
work
You don't gotta deal with
every
people's
single day
spam
like you
L's.
supposed to be,
People in
you
the
are
chat spamming
guaranteed a
L's.
specific
Oh,
pay.
this is boring. We don't like this video.
Now,
You
nigga
have
talking
to
about
make
spamming
content.
L, kind of crazy.
Imagine you have to be high energy. Oh, hey guys, how's it going? You guys like this stream?
That's me
Instead of-
24/7. I'd rather do that.
So why don't you become a streamer?
Man, that's what I want to do. F that. F this not a fine shit.
You know what I'm saying?
If
Sound like
streaming
niggas
is
that
so
hate
easy,
G.
how come every single person in this seat is not a streamer?
People are lazy. They want to put in the work.
That's their fault.
You see what
I
I'm
get
saying?
called fat all the time.
Oh, so what? I can call fat and chubby. All my homeboys call me chubby, fat,
Well,
whatever.
That's your homeboys, though. I'm gonna keep it a buck. That's your
Yeah.
homeboy.
Yeah, and you right, homeboy, you right. But check this out. My nigga, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna go out there and get that bag.
I think she's got something she wants to say.
Oh my gosh, wait, we're seeing a
I'm not
flag.
gonna lie.
Unfortunately, these flags are actually useless. We decided to use a timer instead because we suck at explaining things.
I'm not gonna lie. The first guy, I'm not gonna lie. He didn't do 9 to 5 people
So
no
should we
justice
raise
for
your
real.
flag? Is there a
You just
reason?
said the same thing
I was
that
actually a cook for
anybody
15
with a
years.
job
That
would
means
say.
For 15 years,
the
I had
most
to get
part.
up practically every day, get dressed, go to work, and I had to deal with not only adults, but I also had to deal with children.
We deal with children every day.
We deal with tens of thousands of children and adults.
The Lacey Thugs are. Do you not know who the Lacey Thugs are?
I can't go out in
Professionals.
public without 10 kids coming up and asking for a picture. Do you know how hard that is of a
Oh,
life?
isn't that
That is
special?
difficult.
How long do you think this is going to last?
Forever.
Forever.
You think this
hopefully.
is going to last forever?
I hope so. You just proved my point for me. I don't have that security that's going to last forever. Having a job, being
That's
a
why you
cook,
gotta
you
grind.
have that security of, oh, I have a job, I have a degree, I have this. This could end for me tomorrow.
Hypothetically, if you all of a sudden you lost all your followers, what would you do?
I know what he'll do. Get up.
No, I'm asking
Trigger
him.
warning.
I'm asking him. What would you
Job.
do if you lost completely all your YouTubers? You had
I ain't gonna lie,
nothing.
that fuck
No
trolling
one watched
hard,
you
though.
anymore. I didn't even watch you anymore. What would you have to do? You would have to go to work.
See, but she get a pass though. Like folks that's kind of up in age, they get a
If I
pass.
did
Life ain't the
lose all my
same way
followers,
that they.
I would probably
Life ain't
buy
how
a
they
couple
used to
houses
remembering
and
it. So
my real estate
she
empire.
get a
Okay,
pass.
so then you would have to actually go to work. You would actually have to go to the office.
And I would think that would be a much easier job than streaming.
You gotta go into your setup though and sit in front of studio lights and read the chat and be interactive.
But
and
no,
stuff.
he lost everybody. He lost everybody. He has no followers whatsoever. He would have to turn
yeah, but
around.
you're proving my point.
You would have
You're
to
proving
turn
my
around.
point. You're proving my point on why this is harder because I could lose it all
Yeah,
tomorrow.
but you could lose it tomorrow.
If let's say you're a cook, right? Let's say you got fired. You have hundreds of people lined up. You can go cook over here, cook over there. You
could be a private chef.
You could be a private chef. Exactly. I don't have that
I
security.
was a cook in the school system. I cooked all
You see what I'm saying? It's like
But you still cook.
You still cook. You go cook for another school.
I think I saw a
I'm
flag
not gonna
right
lie to
here.
you. I mean, you
I
gotta
see
get
red
an old
flags.
elderly people a pass though, G.
It's the truth.
They could have dismissed her, but in a more respectful manner. But it's
I
still
think some of
funny
you
though.
guys
I'm
aren't
not
taking
gonna lie.
into account. Say we get a brand deal. I gotta post on an Instagram story. I gotta go find the 4 Loco cans. I gotta make sure, I gotta make sure I get the 4 Loco can. And
Not to
Yeah,
mention,
see, and that's another thing.
it ruins our.
I'm not gonna lie, see, I don't know if my mic is too loud, it's saying it is, but that's another thing that I'm saying that maybe on the streamer's behalf, that's not a good thing. Like, gee, you get a brand deal, they tell you to post a picture, you gotta go find a fit, whatever. I mean, y'all kind of proving the point where they saying that it's easier to do that as well. You see what I'm saying? But I mean, I understand where they're coming from because I mean, if you don't do it the correct way, then the brand might not message you. I mean, this is their money, so I mean, if you want to be technical, I guess they are dealing with a line of people that is very specific on how they want their brand presented. So I mean, yes, do I think that it's a L kind of way of saying it? Yes, but like I said, we just
our
don't.
Twitter impressions too.
They'll keep
I gotta
moving on.
tag them.
And then that goes into falling off.
My name is Rhonda. I'm a registered nurse from the South.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, register nurse, make some bread out here, boy.
35 years ago, I decided to go to nursing school because I wanted to be a creative. I thought I loved fashion, I loved acting, I loved
She wanted to go to
singing.
nursing school,
but in the South,
but she
a lot
wanted
of
to
racism
do
back in the 60s and the
be a
50s.
creator too.
People didn't give a rat's ass if you created
I don't know about that,
something, and they wouldn't
Rhonda.
support your business.
Sorry,
So
auntie.
yes, a 9 to 5 is much harder.
I think it
had to
depends
work
on the 9 to
7
5 as
3,
well.
7 a.m. to 7 p.m. I had to support my daughter.
Rhonda,
you get spoiled.
Rhonda, can I ask you a question?
Nope.
Have you ever done
You
it?
get spoiled.
Damn.
No.
Rhonda,
You
Rhonda,
get spoiled
Rhonda.
and your
Rhonda,
mama and
Rhonda,
daddy keep
Rhonda.
giving
We all
it to you.
struggle growing up.
Rhonda, guys, I got a question for Rhonda. I got a question for Rhonda. Rhonda,
Yes.
have you ever done a subathon?
What's a subathon?
30
Deadass.
days straight,
24/7.
hours.
Now
a
this right here
day.
is a good point.
We all streamed.
That
for-
ain't even healthy.
You're talking about working 7 to 3. You have 2 30-minute breaks throughout that. You get to go home afterwards, see your family, relax. We were on camera 30 days straight, no personal.
What
If you know how
day
hard
were
it is
you a registered
to
nurse?
have.
When did you get a break? You clean boo-boo?
When have you ran a
You-
3-minute ad?
You
When have you
clean
ever
up
ran? You
vomit,
never ran a 3-minute ad.
You pass trays, you're short-handed. You
Talk
don't-
about the fake relationships that you have.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
boom. The
Now,
subathon is a
It's
good
think
Think
example
about
of
this.
it.
Think about
I'm
this.
not gonna lie, that's
Imagine
actually the
every
best
little
thing that it
person
says so
calling
far.
parasocials. They judge your relationships. You can't go out to dinner or have a girl take a picture in your car without them finding out and judging
got
you
caught with
based on
my
it.
ex
I
in
got caught with
public.
my ex, and I got treated like I was a pedophile for it.
But mental
Okay,
health,
boom, that's another
mental
good point
health,
for
when
them.
you
I feel
stop
like they
caring
get
about
another
what
point.
people think and what they say about you. Do you. Do you. And that's a big problem with younger people.
So with the girl in
You
the back
care
with the
about
flag,
what
G. Come on,
people
bruh.
think, social media, what they say about
Because
you.
that's our
That's
job.
our job.
You said you're a nurse, right?
35 years.
What do you think's harder? 24-hour open surgery, like when you're helping with, the doctor, et cetera, or 24-hour stream?
24-hour open surgery.
I'm not gonna lie, G. All right, this is when they kind
We're
of.
saving thousands, you're saving one.
I'm not gonna lie, G. I'm not gonna lie. Now that's a L point for them right there, and the fact that he said it like that is kind of L. I'm not gonna lie, and if they agree with that too, it's kind of diabolical. Open surgery, G. They die. Anytime, if you talking about some internet stuff versus a life, the internet will always lose off, G. I mean, lose their war. I'm not gonna lie to you. I understand what he's saying, cause okay, I get what the man's saying. Excuse me, I ain't gonna keep pausing. We're only 8 minutes into the video, but I see where he's going with it. But that's a L way of saying it, like I say. Now, a lot of people do find the internet relaxing, entertaining, and they kind of take away stress for them. And I do understand all of that, but at the same time, you just got to think about it, G. Sometimes it depends on the 9 to 5, is what I'm saying. Because if you ain't got doctors, nurses, and surgeons and things of that nature, then when things go left with the human body, it's like, well, damn. Well, somebody needs to come scream for you so they can save your life. It's like, gee, come on. It's kind of crazy. The registered nurse, anything life related.
My argument is that
Definitely harder.
You guys actually did any of the work during that, and it was all your filmers, your
he part of the
editors,
face team?
your producers. All these people back here are the ones doing the work. You guys just show up and have fun.
They didn't do anything.
It's a group project.
No, because here's the thing.
Well, that's bad takes.
That's bad takes. That's bad takes. That's bad takes.
They wouldn't have any work If it wasn't for us, though.
They do got a valid point. It's like a
I would
company.
even go as far to say as every person in this room, we keep them employed as well. Because here's the thing, we get sponsors from these companies that have 9-to-5s, right? These companies, hold on. These companies are not viable without influencers to push the brand and keep them in business.
Have you
That's
ever
a
worked a
good
real
point.
job?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
So how would you
See,
know?
I have worked a real job.
What was your real job?
I worked 8 months. I worked a double. I worked Walmart and Panera at the same time for a
Why
year.
she go there laughing?
Nah, she's making me mad.
Oh, I'm not like, why
I
she
actually
laughing
feel like
like
they're
that
wrong.
though? Nah, that is kind of crazy though. I'm not gonna lie. That is kind of diabolical though. Laughing. That shit is kind of
I
funny.
am Chris.
All right, Chris.
Why do you think a 9-to-5 job is not harder than what you do?
Well, you're guaranteed to pay.
Guaranteed to pay.
Yeah.
And that makes it harder?
Yeah. No, it makes it easier for you
Makes
guys.
it easier
Yeah.
because we have a guaranteed pay.
100%.
That's a fact. That's
You
a
have
fact.
security.
Easier
Talk about
for
raises.
Makes it easier for 9-to-5 people.
That nigga back that bullshit,
have
yeah. I work at the
job
feds
because
right
their
now.
Pay is
Yeah, when you go to
guaranteed.
Little
work every day,
raise,
everyone's
not
like,
even
Basing
work.
the ease of a job just
But
on
it's
somebody
worth it.
getting
If
paid
that mean,
regularly
you know what
is
I'm
okay.
saying?
Well, let's just say well, that comes to perspective. If you say someone who works food, if you someone who works a doctor, it's obviously different. But if you're talking abroad, 9-to-5, someone who doesn't need a degree, yeah, it's way easier than being a streamer.
Facts.
How so?
Well, it's because you're guaranteed and you don't need any crazy knowledge. You don't need to go to school for most jobs, like certain things like a 9-to-5. If you wanted to go work at Foot Locker, I could go to Foot Locker, apply, and then next thing you know, I'm selling shoes for pay every single hour.
So according to you, a
That's a
job
fact, though.
is easier or harder based on the guaranteed pay? That's one
A 9 to-
aspect of it.
Working
right?
at
Yeah.
Foot Locker,
Okay.
working at a job like Panera or whatever Lacey is easier than a streamer, yes, because a streamer you have to come up with ideas. You have to stay relevant. There
Oh,
was
we're talking about ideas now. Okay,
Yeah,
we're
what do you-
talking
what-
about pay.
Okay, so what do you want to
that's
start with
one way
though?
that
But it
it's
doesn't
easier.
make. But
Well,
you're not
you
even.
start- I
mean,
you're
they
not
get paid
even-
off their
you
ideas.
keep switching it. So why don't
I'm
you
not
answer my
switching
question?
anything.
You know, you 100% are. So how is it harder if you're guaranteed to pay? I worked for 4 years of streaming. I didn't make $1.
Well, what's your definition of hard? That's the thing. It's like what-
And that's a great
Stuff
point.
that you need
Difficult.
creativity. You need
That's
to
a great
get
point
out
right
of your
there.
circle, comfort
Sure.
zone. You
Yeah.
need to be able to actually make people believe what you believe in the sense
Facts,
of like, oh,
facts.
this is good content. Do you watch any TV shows?
I watch YouTube.
Okay, you watch
so
YouTube.
much YouTube.
So it's the same thing. So the people that
Absolutely,
you're
yeah.
entertained by are the people like us, just for a different audience.
That's true, but you're talking about
a
entertainment
fact.
as a job. We could talk about entertainment.
This is entertainment,
as a job.
but this is
Yeah,
entertainment.
entertainment
But
as
my
a
question
job
to you
doesn't have
is
any
why?
sense.
Facts.
Absolutely.
So do you truthfully, you could sit here and think that working at like a Foot Locker or something like that, I'm just using that because that's the best
Sure.
example,
Yeah.
is harder than a streamer?
It depends on what you are saying the word hard means to you. Because
In the
there's
sense of
hard
everyday
physically,
activity. Because
there's
some people
hard-
around here said, oh, I got to wake up at 7 a.m., 8 a.m. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, we have to do the same thing.
Sure.
Okay, boom. Down in the comment section down below, let's do some interacting real quick because we gonna yap about this for sure. Do y'all think they're working in how about this? A non-essential job. How about that? Non-essential job. Do y'all feel like that a non-essential 9-to-5 job is harder than doing, let's just say, content creation? How about that? Drop down in the comment section down below. Let's talk about it a little bit. Let's talk about it, man.
A lot of people do that.
And you deal with yourself.
No, we deal with millions
When
of
you're
people.
creating that content, and you
That's
have
the
your
age
phone,
gap right there, though. That's
you're
another
dealing
time.
with
That's another
you and
point right
yourself
there.
and that phone.
Okay, so what happens?
You're not dealing with
Not true.
coworkers, and you're not.
That's not
dealing
true at
with-
all. I have an
Okay.
editor that I pay who relies on me. If I stop doing
Which
any
is
type
later.
of content, he loses
So when
a job.
you go to your job, when you go to work, rather than punching a card, you pick up your phone or you turn on a camera.
Okay, so when you punch the card, let's say, who's above you? Your boss, right? What happens if he just takes the business and he says, oh, we're not doing it anymore? You lose your job.
If the work is picking up a phone or turning on a camera as opposed to going in with a bunch of people and having to multitask tasks you have to do throughout your shift
Yeah.
and deal with your
Tasks you gotta do
coworkers
throughout
and
the stream.
interpersonal
Yeah.
thing. Tell me how much you do of that stuff while you are actually doing your job for however many number
Okay,
of hours
perfectly.
that you are talking and typing and shitting and eating and all that stuff
Crazy.
that everybody's watching you do.
Go ahead.
No, but there's actually a mental aspect.
I understand that, yeah.
No. Let me hear me
Yeah,
out.
go ahead.
Camaraderie. Like you have like a group of people, like friendships, relationships, which is the most
Sure.
important thing in life. So do you build that with your coworkers and stuff like that?
Facts.
Sorry, bye.
Damn.
Seeing a lot of flags.
Like that though? I'm not gonna lie, like I say, we just gonna rope it back to what I was saying beforehand. It is also a age group. It's an age group split with the knowledge. Like Anybody would say that. It requires effort. Like what I'm doing right now. Yeah, I'm just sitting here chilling, vibing. But if I'm not making the effort to put my face out, keep my face out there, dropping every single day or whatever case may be, however frequent I'm dropping, which by the way is every day. Just had to throw that in there. But yeah, like right now I'm grinding. Technically, you do free work all the way up into a certain point. And if that's slow grinding, then it's like to them it is hard work. You have to react to the most popular things. You have to make sure you got to make sure that you're entertaining. Some people are just really naturally funny, and then you get other people that do have to actually try to put effort into being entertaining. Now you just have to choose the type of person. Well, I ain't say choose. Once you know yourself, then you understand the type of person that you are. Then you understand the content that you could possibly make if you choose to get into content creation. Like I say, a lot of people do choose to do a lot of other things other than. So I mean, it just depends. If you ask me right now,
I'm Angelina,
the
and I work
FaZe
as an
boys are
executive
winning
assistant.
the little debate.
You're right. She's right. Hang on, she's right.
They're kind of winning this debate right now. I ain't say kind of, they are.
All right, so you guys were talking about the mental aspect, and I thought that was really interesting because as someone who works a 9 to 5, technically it's a 10 to 6, but I still have to clock in a certain amount of time. I come home, I'm too tired to cook. Fortunately, I have a beautiful girlfriend that does all of that stuff for me when I get home, but if I didn't, I would have to cook for myself and get to bed in time and wake up in time to commute back to my job. You guys talk about how it's hard because there's a mental aspect, and I understand as someone who's been on social media a lot that you get
How long have you
berated.
been on social media? Just to get broad.
So I actually did content creation starting at the age of 14. When I moved to LA, I gained like 10,000 followers off the bat, and I was very young, and I started working with different brands.
Okay.
I totally understand the mental aspect. It's just that you guys can afford to say, hey, I'm gonna go wherever for 2 weeks, and that can be content, that can be your job, and you actually get to relax and travel the world and have other
So
opportunities.
you're just saying a lot of points.
There's no relaxation.
Just so I can answer.
Okay,
couple.
boom, I like her.
So you're saying like to
like
go back
her.
to the
She's
beginning, you're
saying
saying
some
like you can
valid
manage
points.
like your time with like relationship. Was that correct? Like you have your girlfriend when you go home, like.
I fortunately have a support system, but I every day like ask myself how I would
So
have
I'll
been
give you
able
a
to do it
perfect
without.
example. So you said 14 you started. I started at 16. For about 3 years, I was making money, and it slowly went super up, and then all of a sudden it went down. Right?
Yeah.
I lost everything, fell off
He was about to
completely.
though.
About to myself. It's a real story. This is a real story. This isn't a joke. Why are you smiling?
We've all been there.
Um,
Every 9 to 5 worker has been
That's
there.
not the
That's
case.
going
why.
back to what you said, how you,
I'm be real. I've never wanted to kill myself over my job, G. I'm not gonna lie. Now, if you get, hey, matter of fact, if y'all ever got to that point before, drop down below. I have never been at that point. That is really low. I'm not gonna lie. That's dark.
you have a support
That's
system.
really dark
I
over
moved
a 9 to
across the
5
country
job.
from my parents at the age of 19, lived alone in an apartment, was paying a certain amount of money every single month, and I was losing money. I wasn't making enough money to pay my, like I had money in my bank for my rent, but I wasn't making
It was
more than my
savings,
rent.
yeah.
So I was losing.
You were in the red every
I
month.
was in the
I
red
got
every
you.
single month. Girlfriend broke up with me at the time, so alone
whammy.
across the country. So it's like when you're alone too and everything's going down, where's my support system?
I don't like why she laughing, bro.
Okay, so I have a question. You said that for the first 4 years you started streaming, you had no income. How are you able to survive?
I lived with my mom. I was 16.
So that to a certain extent is privilege.
That's privilege.
What?
It is.
But my mom.
What
my
are we
mom,
talking about here?
how-
He was
actually, how's it
16 years old.
It's privilege because you have the
Majority
support
of-
system to have a place to live.
Well, at 15, 16, I would hope I have parents that would live.
Exactly.
Yeah, but a
What
lot of
the
people
hell?
don't, and they have to
What is
take
that?
9
That's
to
a whole different
5s.
discussion. So a lot of people don't have houses.
A lot of
when they
people
working
don't
9 to
have
5s?
families that support them or accept
But that's a
them.
whole different conversation. What does that have to do with the 9 to 5?
Because they still need to survive. So the fact that you were given
So
the
how did you move to
opportunity-
LA?
I moved across the country as well with my mom when I was 15 years old.
Do you not think that's privileged?
I mean, we moved into a one-bedroom. in
Yeah,
Santa
you can't
Monica,
double
and she
standard
like
that,
trundled
baby. I ain't gonna lie.
us.
Once you lay a story down, you
I
gotta
was
stick to the
reselling
story.
shoes to afford my mom's mortgage and everything.
I get it. I've definitely helped my family out in times where I was able to, but I also had to have my family support me in order for me to have certain opportunities to make money in the first place. So if you didn't have content creation, what would you be doing?
It's a great question. I don't know because I I didn't set my goals that way. I set up my life to I know I
Exactly.
we all got paid the same every single month. Let's say just in simple terms, we all got paid $100,000 a month, a crazy amount of money. Would you guys still, truthfully, I'm asking a serious question, would you guys say that all of our jobs are harder than each other, truthfully?
Yeah, if she was a nurse, she had to go to medical school for years just to be able to have her
But
foot
she
in the
knew
door.
that she was getting security because she was going to be a nurse, correct?
Not secure.
How is it not secure if you knew what you were going to do?
Nothing secure.
Nothing's secure. You just proved my point. But you just proved my point.
No job is secure, but content creation gives you the ability to have those.
Okay, it's really kind of, I ain't gonna lie now. Stuff like this kind of be, stuff like this, I hate the ideal of biasness. So, y'all keep jumping around. So, the 9 to 5, now, if I'm understanding correctly, they're saying that the 9 to 5, damn, hold on. I kind of lost myself. Hold on.
Those savings to have an audience, and even if you do lose all your followers one day, even if
let's
you
say
lose,
I lost it all tomorrow.
you still have residuals of your previous viral
But that's-
videos. Even if people are hating on you and
that's not
shitting on you,
necessarily-
that's still adding to what goes into your pocket.
There's literally doctors who do one surgery and make hundreds of $1,000s.
Because they were trained for decades and they had to go to
So
school.
were we.
Okay, boom. That's what they were saying. Boy, I had the biggest brain fart. School, depending on the type of schooling you did, should never affect a conversation like this at all. Nigga, if I did 4 years of college and I'm working a regular 9 to 5 flipping burgers at Burger King, and here go this nigga right here grinding, making no money until a point where he was making money. Well, this nigga self-made. Then all you did was get help from a book that really didn't even it helped you graduate, but it didn't help you get the job. You still have to apply yourself to get the job. If you're asking me for the argument of this right here was a good debate back and forth in my opinion, but she's trying to kind of wrap it in the wrong kind of way. Like school does not dictate shit. I want y'all to understand that. It is more people out here that done been to school and didn't do nothing with life versus folks who didn't go to school and went crazy successful. If I'm not mistaken, didn't some of the richest people in the world didn't go to school? It's kind of crazy.
You went to school to be a content creator?
Streamer University.
That's just kind of crazy to me. You can never wrap school into something like this, G. School should never be an argument when you talking about 9 to 5 versus,
How you doing, bro?
streamers or content creation in general.
Gabe, how we doing?
I'm doing good. So first of all, I want to say I do respect all of you for what you do. I mean, you guys do work, but you do not work as hard as people who have a regular job.
This brother
I mean,
different.
that I do know it for sure. It's very clear. People have to wake up and do their routine over and over again. It's not a daily thing, it's a weekly thing, it's a monthly thing, it's a yearly thing, it's a life thing. And if they screw up, they lose their jobs. And they always have to be
Okay,
careful.
boom, that's a good point
because
right
if they do something weird, they say something weird to their coworker or their boss, they're gonna lose their job. If you lose some followers because of something you say, you'll get other followers. And you have a large following enough where there's enough of a range of perspectives that people will always be on board for you as long as you're producing content. People who screw up at their jobs and lose their jobs, and maybe there's a recession, there's not a lot of jobs, as could be now, they get potentially homeless or worse.
You ever heard of cancel culture?
What's that? Yeah, of course I've heard of it. But how many people have been canceled and came back? I mean, it happens all the time. Your boss is not going to be loyal
That's a
to you if you
fact.
don't get that thing in on time 5 times.
Okay, but check it
you're
out.
done.
Okay, so listen, but to be
Fact,
able to
that's a
get
fact.
that loyal following of people that do follow you,
Yes.
you need to build that over years
Okay,
and years and
okay.
years and hours of
Okay,
trust
all right.
and communication
Sacrifice.
and intimate relationships with your audience.
Okay, so
that's not something that's just given to you.
Look, the
You
things-
don't just fall into 1 million subscribers, 2
Of
million
course
subscribers,
not.
3 million
Of course
subscribers.
not. It takes work for sure.
they did it,
but like,
well, if that was
what
the
you
case,
guys
we'd
are
all be
talking
doing
about
that,
in
wouldn't
terms
we?
of like the toll it takes on you, a large part of it, and let me tell you something, I'm a little older than you guys, so a large part of it is just general
Nigga, you
angst
got
from being
gray in your
young,
beard.
and you just happen to have a camera
Hey,
in front
you
of
at
you and like
least
talking to people or whatever.
40.
But at the same time,
40,
like, you're
late
doing
40,
exactly what
early
most people are
50,
doing, which is
nigga.
dealing with life stuff, and that's normal. Like the mental toll that it takes dealing with people and getting comments and this and that, that's what everybody deals with. But you don't have to wake up at 6 in the morning and get to your job and then be there and like be on the whole time, no matter what. Anyone who has a 9 to 5 has to do that.
I said, what do you do? What
Well,
do
I'm
you
a
do?
college professor, so. I have to do that same
So
sort
you
of.
just gotta come in and teach the same shit for the next 10, 15 years?
Yes, you're right.
Come on, man.
We have to-
You already know what he's doing.
We have to produce new shit every day.
For me in particular, to Silky's point, you're a college professor, so you're essentially reteaching the same curriculum to the same students.
That I had to take
what I'm
years
saying?
to learn, but
you know
yes.
what I'm saying? But I started making content when I was
Man,
12 years old.
you can't
I
associate
started out
school with
playing
it.
Call of Duty trick shotting. I
You were-
don't think
okay.
anybody in this room could hit a crane shot. I don't know if anyone in this room.
Okay,
could
now
which-
this
I don't
right
know if
here.
that's something to be proud of, but okay.
So I had to do that
You're
for 4
losing
years,
me.
Okay.
right? And then I'm like, okay. Then I had to do YouTube for 4 years,
Okay.
right? And then I had to do FaZe Clan, build FaZe Clan out, fix FaZe Clan, and then
Okay.
do streaming.
Okay.
So
And
you're
with how many
constantly-
people helping you?
How many people helping me?
Yeah.
Come on now.
For which stages?
Yeah, all of them. There were a lot. You had a team.
When I was trick
Was
shotting-
it just you? Like
No. It
Okay.
was just me. There's receipts of this.
It wasn't built on the shoulders of anyone?
There's receipts on YouTube of me.
Okay, well, where did YouTube come from?
When I was
How did
13
YouTube become so
when I was
easy?
13
Because
years
a
old.
bunch of people worked their butts off 9 to 5, making it a thing.
That's
and
what
if
you
it
did
didn't
in the
exist,
previous
if
voice.
it didn't
So-
exist, you couldn't press
So the
play, you
fact-
couldn't press record,
So the fact that
and
you
then
have
just
a-
talk.
The fact that you have a campus to teach on. Then
Yeah.
boom, there you go.
Right, but I
Yeah,
also
I
had
have
to
a
spend
campus to
years
teach.
earning my credentials and mastering.
And I did it.
Come on, guys, your credentials are playing.
Okay, so I think what they getting at is what I'm gonna say it as plain as pop. I'm gonna say it plain because that's the only way I know how to say it. They basically saying that since they didn't have no education background, educated background, and they didn't have to put years and years into mastering how to pick up a phone camera and stream or whatever came in. They didn't take no classes on it. So realistically, so these niggas just associating everything with school. That's Steve's first argument. I ain't gonna lie. As a 9 to 5 worker, G,
Video games. I play
let's not
video
even
games
get
on my
into
spare
that for
time.
real, though.
Come on, guys.
Don't waste your
wanna get
time
explain
arguing
This is okay. We understand.
school with niggas that pretty much had to figure out nothing. You still have to be like, there's a lot of people that do content.
A hair and makeup artist, physical job. Doesn't seem like any of you guys can even compete with the physicality.
brother.
You guys just
Physicality.
I know how to do a three-strand braid.
Just
Nah, I ain't
sitting
gonna lie,
on
that's
your butt
diabolical.
and talking into a microphone
know.
is very different.
So wait.
Very different than having to get up in the morning, carry all of your gear. You've got to carry all of your hair, makeup, all of your supplies. You have to haul it around, get up early in the morning. You stand on your feet all
Bet.
day. You never sit down.
I hear you, I
You're
hear you.
breathing
Build a
in,
house.
you're breathing in toxic chemicals all day.
I mean, but that's your choice, though.
All right, can I talk? Can I talk?
Hairspray.
Listen, so your whole
So
thing.
it's dangerous.
Listen, bet.
Your
Just
job
chill,
isn't
chill.
dangerous.
So
your
thing
job
is-
isn't
your thing
physically
is
taxing. You're just talking into a
So
microphone.
bet. Listen. So your whole
She
thing.
doesn't get that.
Your whole thing is we can't do what you do, right?
It's not
No, no,
physical.
but-
I'm saying
she
that
said
a
it's
9
not
to 5
physical.
job
That's
where you
crazy.
physically have to do
So-
some hauling around stuff.
So
and
physically, I physically
you're
can't
just
haul
talking
around
into a microphone.
bags of like makeup. You physically could never trick shot. You could not hit a crane shot. You can't 1080. You can't hold a
not gonna
controller
Talk to
and make a 200K montage.
I'm not gonna
No one in here. Come on, man. None of you can.
I'm not gonna lie. Stuff like that
carry
do require a
none of you
lot.
can
If you
make
play
it.
the
And you
game,
have to
you
do
know.
that for 12 hours a day.
Yes. Actually,
You
yes.
taking them 4 days to hit a trick shot. It's taking you 4 days to hit a trick shot.
Actually, yes, I would have
Hours
to
a
do
day.
that.
And then your day is never
Yes, I
done. When you're
would.
done doing that, is your job done? Do you have to go shopping and replace
No,
all of the things
wait.
that you
Stop.
use?
No. Listen,
You have to
Vicky,
clean
listen,
all of
Vicky.
your gear.
You don't know about dry streaks. You don't know about hit markers.
But when you're done, you're
You
done.
don't know about if the Elgato wasn't on.
When
Can
you're
you
done, you're
imagine
done.
these?
Okay, I don't like how plain she trying to make it. When you done, you done. I really do not like that. I just hate the fact that they don't. I mean, I guess it is in a sense. This is kind of rage baited in a sense. If this was anybody else, I'm not gonna lie. This feels like a rage bait. I always calm with you. I'm not gonna lie. Had I been there and then this is something that they've been saying, gee, I'm not gonna lie. I would have been in that joint. I ain't gonna say I would have been doing the most, but I definitely would have been getting off. If you was to switch over right now, let's just say that they gave them the camera and told them, "Folks, go make something out of yourself doing screaming or content creation." it won't work. A lot of people do content every day. That's the crazy part, G. I mean, you got different kind of people in life. Some people are just nervous and they don't want to pick up the camera. And of course, they always say consistency is the key, which it is. I'm not gonna lie. I've been living it. I ain't gonna lie. It is the point. But to a degree, you still got to know how to talk. Like you got to know how to say the right words on the spot. Like right now, I'm reacting to this video right now, and I'm having to have this train of thought that is resonating with y'all in a sense. If y'all still watching up to this point, y'all have to resonate with what I'm saying in order for y'all to eat. I have to make sure that I'm saying things that keep y'all entertained, or at least I have to be with the same wavelength as y'all watching the video, or something along the lines. I'm one of them people that I ain't gonna say I'm laid back because really I have energy when I have energy. It's just the stuff I be watching. I'm more so like the comment. And trust me, the content gonna get better. I think I'm gonna let them finish Vicky and then I'm gonna end the video. But we'll talk about it though. Hold on.
Oh my God, disable
Elgato?
resample. If I rendered my video in Vegas and I sent the editor the clips without disabling resample. Oh my God. My montage is fucked. Your main underlying argument here is what you do is physically
Daily, day
more,
to day.
Okay. Your main thing is what you do is physically more taxing and hard than what any of us
And
do.
dangerous.
I could say the same thing. You cannot physically trick shot. You could never. I would go as far
Okay,
as
so
I don't
how many hours a day do you trick shot?
I don't think.
How many
How
hours a
players know,
day
boy.
do you trick
That was
shot?
some
How many
devious
hours?
work
When I
back in the
was
day on
trick
that
shotting,
Black
it was
Ops 2
12
and
hours a day. It was however long I
MW3
needed to.
and
However long I
day.
needed
12
to.
hours a day
However
trick
long I
shotting?
needed to hit a clip.
everybody wanted to be in
12 hours a
back
day every
then.
day.
5 seconds.
And that clip is.
He carries a Barrett 50 cal and he jumps off of stuff.
I would have to get on Call of Duty, turn my sense all the way up to 1010. I would have to get to last. I would have to pray to God that he would be in the right spot, throw the concussion. Now I gotta have my rotations down. I gotta have my rotations.
Dead zones. Talk about the dead zones.
Talk about dead zone.
Stick drip.
Stick drift.
Thing is, for the most part, but that is not all YouTubers that are doing something physical. A lot of it is just talking.
Yeah, but she also said it was dangerous. We could walk around IRL stream and someone could rob us or kill us.
Nah, that's a fact.
Wait,
They're
That's a
laughing.
fact,
That's
though. They got a
happened.
point.
Recently.
I've gotten a pumpkin thrown on my head by a crackhead.
crackhead ran up to him on stream and almost
died.
Almost
Because he
decapitated
quoted
him
his
when he
thoughts.
was-
Okay, boom. Look, we ain't gonna finish too much of this. I don't know how much of this will be copyrighted, and I don't want to be copyrighted. But this gonna wrap up the end of at least the part that I put on. I probably watched 24 out of the 45, which is still more than enough for y'all to get the concept of what's going on in the video. But I guess as an end remark that I would have, in my opinion, and like I say, y'all drop down below what y'all, you know what I'm saying, what y'all think. But in my opinion, it is a lot harder to scream. I be trying to, don't get me wrong, screaming has to be the hardest thing to do, G. Very much hard. You do have to be entertaining. You do have to, like, that requires more than content. Screaming is a lot more taxing. I ain't gonna say a lot more. Yes, but no. It's a little bit more taxing than content creation. Like content creation, I recorded this video. I can chop it up. I can do whatever. And it'll be exactly what it is. But it's just one of the things. In my opinion, a lot of you get the 1%ers, the 1% of life of people who make things of themselves to where they don't have to work a regular 9 to 5 job. Some people get the education that they want and that they're looking for, and then they're able to go into the careers that they want. But the 98% of the world, gee, we all work regular jobs. Regular jobs make the world go round. Everybody can't be rich. And that's just the honest God truth. Everybody can't be rich. And that's just the way life works. If everybody had it as easy as streamers or YouTubers, I mean, everybody would pretty much be in the same boat. I mean, life is, you know what I'm saying, diversified based off your category of, it could be your parents. Some people get their head start, you know what I'm saying, with your parents, and then they put you on game. A lot of people don't have those type of abilities. Everybody don't have the ability to do that. That's just basically what I'm getting at. But like I say, man, y'all drop down below what y'all think about the 9 to 5, the screamer debate. And in our case, we're going to talk about 9-to-5 workers and content creation in general, because realistically, that's what it is. But like, comment, subscribe, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in for another video. Peace.
Everything going, I act a fool when I go and perform, but I'm trying.